lawmaker now about how we move forward with this. Joining us now is Lee Carter, a Virginia House delegate who was tear gassed and flashbanged during Saturday's protests in Manassas, Virginia. So what exactly happened last night?
Yeah, so last night I got reports from some of my constituents of police violence at a protest up on the other side of town. So I went out there. I was in contact with local authorities. I was in contact with the Prince William County Police, asking them to radio ahead that I would be coming and asking for answers for what happened. When I got there, I saw a line of police in riot gear that were preparing to advance on a crowd, and I saw a crowd of people that were just standing around about 50 feet away from them, not doing anything. So, I went up to the line. I said, I'm a member of the General Assembly. I heard reports of tear gas and rubber bullets, and I want to know what's happening. I want to speak to who's in charge. And they pointed rifles at me. They threw a flashbang grenade at my feet. And at that point, I decided, okay, I'm going to stand between the agencies that are here and my constituents that are reporting the police violence to me, and I'm going to get answers to these questions. And over the course of about an hour and a half, I was flashbanged 3 times, twice while I was walking away. Here's one of the grenades. I was charged with shields.
Hold that up one more time. Would you hold that up one more time? I've never seen one of those in the clear. Hold that up again. All right, got it. Now, see, the fact that you went to go,
the flashbang grenade.
The fact that you went to go talk to law enforcement and say, "I'm going to get answers," I can hear in the back of my head people that I know saying, "That was your first mistake." It's thinking that they were just going to slow down for you when they were trying to deal with crowd dispersal. I think that on one hand, good for you for trying to get answers. On the other hand, what does that tell you about the nature of policing? Were they just on autopilot? Did they just not care? Did they make a legitimate mistake? What do you make of that?
No, they definitely did not make a mistake, especially not with the second and third flashbang grenades. They knew who I was, and this was the state police that brought the flashbang grenades. So this is an agency that I directly regulate in my role in the General Assembly. So they were familiar with me. This is just a case of, police in this country rejecting any attempt at accountability from any source. This is the empirical data has shown that the overwhelming majority of protests that turn violent, the first act of violence is initiated by the police, often with these quote-unquote less lethal types of weapons like CS gas, beanbags, rubber bullets, flashbang grenades, that a lot of police feel gives them license to be violent because they're less likely to kill someone and face an inquiry for that.
Before we keep moving, it's so interesting that you were in Manassas. That's the site of the Manassas National Battlefield Park where the Battle of Bull Run was fought in the Civil War. And if you go there and walk around, you learn that both sides, the Union and the Confederacy, thought this was going to be quick. Some of the soldiers enlisted for 90 days. That's how quick they thought it was going to be. And they ended up fighting in July 1861 and August 1862, and the war went on. So it's interesting you were there, because that was the beginning of a war that turned out to be longer and harder and bloodier than either side expected. Before I let you go, in this battle to improve policing, what is your next salvo? Do you think that this can be resolved quickly, or are you settling in for a long war?
I think it can be resolved quickly, but what it will take is something that law enforcement is unwilling to do, and that is law enforcement standing down instead of insisting on strict compliance with their orders, whether their orders are justified or not. We have people protesting against the brutality of police, and the response by police everywhere in this country is to enact more brutality upon the people that are already protesting brutal actions. And this is everywhere. You can't have outside agitators everywhere. This is, let me tell you, the outside violent group last night was the Virginia State Police.
Lee Carter is a delegate in the Virginia State House. Delegate Carter, thanks very much for talking to us.